Hey y'all, I'm the Geek Apprentice and welcome to another Tears of the Kingdom video. If you end up liking the video, then maybe consider giving it a thumbs up and joining the geekdom by subscribing. You can also follow me on Instagram at the Geek Apprentice for more content. Unpopular opinions. We all have them, especially when it comes to The Legend of Zelda. And while we can pretty much guarantee that all of us that tuned in to see that new trailer unanimously are super duper excited for May 12th, that does not mean we don't have differing opinions about the content itself. And I don't mean in terms of theory ideas, but just our general feelings about it. And after watching that newest trailer, I actually have a list of 5 hot takes concerning Tears of the Kingdom. Be sure to let me know in the comments section if you end up sharing any of these sentiments. Number 1, I am quite okay that we don't really know anything about the story, nor do we have an idea of what the gameplay is going to be like. It would seem that most I have encountered really wish that we had some sort of trailer explaining and going through and showing a lot more story elements and give us a better idea of what the gameplay is going to be like. I can 100% understand this, especially from a marketing standpoint. You would think the creators would want to market at least a little bit to the people who were unsure about Breath of the Wild, didn't play Breath of the Wild, but might be interested in Tears of the Kingdom. Then again, they might just be banking on the fact that Breath of the Wild sold really well and most of those players are going to buy the sequel. Hence, they don't have to show us that much. But the hot take here is that I actually prefer them to not show much. I mean, take a look at Breath of the Wild trailers. They actually didn't reveal too much in those either. That said, I won't deny they did show more. But I personally kind of want to go into the game at least a little bit blind. I have an idea of what different gameplay is going to be like. I have an idea of what's going on with the story, except not really, and I'm perfectly content with that. I want to just drop into the game and experience it. And don't take this the wrong way, but I guess it's because I just trust Nintendo to give us a really good Zelda game. Now that's not to say that those who want more out of the trailers don't trust Nintendo, they just want more, and I understand that. However, all that said, I'm sure we're going to get one more super cinematic trailer just like Breath of the Wild got close to Tears of the Kingdom's release. Unpopular opinion, I just hope it doesn't show too much. Number 2. I'm actually kind of glad the game got delayed. Now don't misunderstand me, I would have been very happy if we had gotten it when we thought we would, which was at the end of 2022. But this is another one of those I trust the creators to make the best Zelda game they can. For whatever reason, they foresaw that the game was not going to be up to par by their original release timeframe and saw fit to give it a much needed extension so that the game could be much better polished. And you know what? There are a few companies, Pokemon, that could really benefit from taking a page out of that book. Of course it's agonizing to wait, but that's okay if you get a really good game out of it. I know some of you are going to go to the comment section with, oh, that quote about a rushed game is always bad, but a delayed game at least has the chance to be good. One, I'm pretty sure that's misquotation. I've used it myself too. But also, it's not true because Wind Waker was a little bit rushed and Majora's Mask was very rushed, and both of those games were great, so just don't bring it up. But in the case of Tears of the Kingdom, the creators know there are extremely high expectations, so there is nothing wrong with saying, you know what, we're going to give ourselves a big chunk of extra time, so we only have to delay it once and give it the best polish it deserves. Now, the time at which it's releasing is not ideal for me personally because my job gets very chaotic during May and early June, but that's okay. I'm still glad they decided to give it more time. Number 3. Not a fan of the voice direction for Ganondorf. We were all anticipating it. What is the voice for Ganondorf going to be like? And I think most of us had a pretty similar idea as to what it should sound like. And what we heard in that last trailer was not it. Let me be clear, I am throwing no shade towards the voice actor himself. I looked him up and I know he has great credibility and has done a ton of brilliant work. No, these issues tend to fall on directors, both the main one and the casting director. My guess is maybe the casting director just really didn't have a good idea of what Ganondorf should sound like, and likewise for whoever was directing how his voice should sound. I know it's not just me, but the few of us that have discussed it, we feel like he sounds more like a Bowser cartoony, super silly villain, you know? What I personally was expecting was smart, intelligent, cunning, malicious, deep and dark, not Bowser. I mean, this is Ganondorf for crying out loud. You look at Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker, he does not give off silly Bowser cartoony villain vibes. I don't know why, I'm just gonna keep using Bowser as a reference. I like Bowser, just not for this. Again, this is no discredit to the voice actor. It's clear that he has a ton of talent and was just doing what he was directed to do. But it just doesn't sound like the Ganondorf we know. It sounds like a dumbed down version. But we haven't heard that much, so perhaps we'll warm up to it. Maybe I'll warm up to it. So that's the hot take. The direction they took for Ganondorf's voice? Kind of missed the mark. Number 4. I'm really not sure about this idea of building contraptions. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it'll turn out really cool, but just upon viewing it, I was thinking I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to find all these random little parts and create stuff. I just want to play a regular Zelda game. I build an Animal Crossing, not this. It's probably nowhere near as bad as I'm thinking. It just kind of turned me off a little bit, and I don't really have anything else to say on that. Number 5 is kind of a suspicion rather than an opinion, and that is, I'm not seeing great evidence for there being traditional dungeons. I think we've all assumed that there had to be traditional dungeons, or at least dungeons similar to what we're used to, because of how many people said, hey, the shrines were fun, the divine beasts were okay, but we really missed those dungeons, and assumed Nintendo would listen and incorporate that. But based on what we've seen, which like I said earlier isn't much, I don't see good evidence for traditional dungeons at all. Now yes, you can 100% argue that I'm kind of contradicting myself because I'm the one who said I like the fact that they haven't shown us a lot, so you could argue, well, you can't even say there isn't dungeons. I totally understand that. I'm just saying it kind of looks like more of the same, just greatly expanded, which I love and I'm excited for because I loved Breath of the Wild. But I did also really want dungeons back, something a tiny bit more linear. And after the last trailer, I'm just not seeing it. Do I think it'll be a fun game either way? Of course. Do I think it was a nail in the coffin that we won't have dungeons? No. They just don't seem like a possibility thus far. But hey, they're holding things close to the chest. I said I was fine with that, so I'm gonna continue to be fine with that. And maybe in a future cinematic trailer, we'll see heavy evidence for dungeons, or we still won't see any. We'll play the game and they were there, they just didn't show them to us. I don't know, nor do you. We're just all kind of guessing. So that was my list of 5 hot takes I have about Tears of the Kingdom. Let me know in the comment section if you ended up sharing any of these sentiments, or if you have any of your own hot takes that you want to share. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a thumbs up and joining the Geekdom by subscribing. It really does help. Big shout out to my channel members and patrons, especially those in the highlighted tier like Joking Batman, Lorulian Sheep, Geek Mom, and McToppler. And an extra shout out to patron Sam for upping his pledge up to the Auror tier. All of you that have ever supported me, currently supported me, whatever it is, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. But anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.